A 1, 2, 3, 4. A 1, 2, 3. One, two, three, four. Hey everybody, Gary here with Guitar Tricks, and in this video I want to share with you 3 funk riffs that I think will really help you develop your funk chops. Now, none of them were super complicated, but all of them had some funk elements in common, like syncopation, a little bit of palm muting, controlling how long a note rings out, very short staccato notes versus longer notes. So the thing with funk is usually it's not very complicated, but it's so groovy, and all the players are, how we say, in the pocket, meaning just totally locked into the groove, just kind of like resting into that groove and feeling relaxed but tight at the same time. One of my favorite players, Miles Jasnowski, wrote on Instagram once, he said, "You got to get loose to get tight," or something like that, which really resonated with me, because if you approach funk with a lot of tension, it's not going to feel right. But if you approach it with a sense of relaxation, but really, focused on the groove, then it has that kind of magic feel to it. Before we get into the lesson, please go ahead and click subscribe so that you get all of the latest and greatest content from Guitar Tricks. And if you want to be notified of any new lesson, be sure to also tap that bell and let us know in the comments what you'd like to see in future lessons. That's where we're always looking for ideas. All right, let's get into it. The name of the game with funk music is to feel the subdivisions. So what I mean is, if this is the beat, we want to hear the 16th notes and the 8th notes. So these are the quarter notes, 1, 2, 3, 4. And just so you know, I'm using a foot tambourine. It's not a metronome. So what that means is that in the intro, I was keeping the beat with my foot. That's a good skill to have. You don't want to be reliant on it, but you also want to definitely be able to do that. Tap the beat while you play. So if this is the beat, 1, 2, 3, 4, I also want to feel and hear and audiate. That means to hear internally. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and dot, 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 dot. I also want to hear the 16th note, which is 4 per beat. So I want to have a sense of that. Then I also want to hear both those things, both straight and swinging. So swinging eighths would be dot, 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 dot. Swinging 16ths would be dot, 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 dot. So sometimes funk swings, sometimes it doesn't. So you want to have a sense of both. Or sometimes you might be swinging in your groove while the band isn't quite swinging, and there's a little bit of a, like a flexibility with, do I add a little bit of swing, be a little behind the beat, so, but you want to practice that. Straight, swing, have a sense of 8th notes and 16th notes in both ways. So the first riff, even though it's simple, I know so many of you watching are going to have a very hard time with it. And that's not to say I'm great and you're not. It's just to say that syncopation is hard, and simple syncopation can be really hard, but I'm going to guide you on how to really nail it. So you might think you've got it, but it's not exact. Funk is very exact. The groove, everything can be lined up. Funk is all about exact, precise rhythm. There's no flexibility whatsoever, right? I did just get finished saying sometimes you swing a little, sometimes you don't, and there might be some flexibility, but that's intention. You know exactly what you're doing. So there's no flexibility. You're either playing it exactly with me or you're not. There's no in between. right? So we're going to work on exact, precise rhythm right here. So here's the first riff. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so first, see if you could sing it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bum, bum, bum. Ba-da-da, bum, 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 bow. Right? Don't worry about singing it on pitch or whatever. Just make sure the rhythm, you could definitely get the rhythm with your mouth. So here's just the rhythm without the notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bop, bop, bop. Ba-da-da, bop, bop, bop. Ba, bop, bop, bop. Ba-da-da, bop, bop, bop. Ba. So, highly syncopated. What does that mean? First note is not syncopated. First one's on the beat. Ba. The second one, ba, comes in right before the second beat. Technically, it comes in on the of 1. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1 E and right? 1 E and So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 E and 1 E and 1 E and 1 E and right? So there's that 1 E and 1 E and Okay, so bump, bump, bump. Third note comes in on the end of 2. 1 E and 2 E end. So it's 1 E and 2 E end. 1 E and 2 E end. 1 E and 2 E end. Bump, bump, bump. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bump, bump, bump. See, it's very exact. They're not just placed in space. They're placed in a grid that you can't hear, meaning in the video, but you need to hear that in your head. Right? Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E. Then after that, ba-da-da, we have the of 3, 4, and the E of 4. So 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E. So that goes 1, 2, 3, 4. After we go bump, 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 ba-da-da, we do the same first 3 notes as the last time, and then we just play this note on 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that just happens on 4. The second time we don't do the ba-da-da, instead we just go on 4. All right. So what are the notes here? Well, we're kind of playing like either a D minor or D7. So it's kind of like a D7 sound, a bluesy kind of funk sound. And so we start on the 5th fret of the A string. There's our D. Then we go with the index finger. Then we go 7th fret on the D string. Then we play the octave, 7th fret on the G, down to the flat 7 on the 5th fret of the G. And I'm staying in position, so index finger on the 5th fret, ring finger on the 7th fret, back to index finger on the 5th. Now, then we come down to the 5th, which is on the 7th fret of the D string, and then back to 5, 7 on the G. Now, the way that you're going to pick that, you could either alternate it, or you could sweep it. So I can go down, down, up, or down, up, down. Do whichever one feels more comfortable. Down, up, down is probably going to be the better option, although I definitely caught myself doing down, down, up. But do what works for you. It's more about the accuracy, the rhythmic accuracy, than necessarily the technique. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Then middle finger on the 6th fret of the B string. That's the minor third, and we're bending it to the sound of the major third. So from here, so it's like going from a minor chord to a major chord, very bluesy thing to do. So just a half step bend, or not even, somewhere in between. But don't go to here, don't go. It's either just a micro bend or a half step bend. So. And then we've got to get right back to the beginning, because that's on beat 4. 4, 1. 4, 1. Awesome. So that's the first riff. It's hard to play funk with just a metronome because there's no subdivisions. With a band, you have the hi-hat, you have the drummers going. The drummer is giving you the subdivisions. Practicing with a metronome, you have to internalize the subdivisions. So it's a really good thing to do. All right, the second one. A 1, 2, 3. Okay, so what do we have there? We have a pickup. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1. So it's 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1. That's called a pickup. 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1. And here again we're in D, D7, D minor. But now we're moving down to 3rd position. So I've got my ring finger on the A. That's on the 5th fret of the low E, or string 6, counting toes to nose. Then 3rd fret of string 5. Then back to 5th fret of string 6. So, and then to the root, 5th fret of the 5th string. So, then we play a D9, classic kind of funky bluesy chord. And basically you just bar the 5th fret on the top 3 strings with your ring finger. Put your index on fret 4 of string 4. And then put your middle finger on fret 5 of string 5. Now, it could be kind of hard to play all 5 of those strings. So you could either just play the top 4, or if you want to get the root, you could kind of mute out the D string and it's not the end of the world. So experiment with just playing the triad on top, this, and this. But don't worry too much. It's more about the rhythm. Funk is more about the rhythm. So like, it's not too exact. Don't worry if it's not exact on, you're getting all the notes to ring out. Worry more about the rhythm. That's what you want to focus more on, the rhythm. Then we go. That might be a little harder. So it's 1. So remember, you want to sing it first. 1, 2, 3. Ba da da dom, cha cha, da do da dom, cha cha, ba do da dom, cha cha, ba do da dom, cha cha, ba do da dom, cha cha. Now the chord is very syncopated. So it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2. It's on the 2 and the of 2. 2E and da. 2E and da, 3E and da, 4E and da. So that is a 16th note syncopation. So 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E and da. Right? Then this is on the and of 3, and then the E of 4. 3E and 4E. 3E and 4E and 1. 3E and 4E and 1E and 2E and So putting the whole riff together. A 1, 2, 3. One E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3, E and a 4, E and a 1, E and a 2, E and a 3, E and a 4, E and a 1, E and a 2, E and a 3, E and a 4, E and a 1, E and a 2, E and a... Right? So all the stuff you hear me doing, I'm singing it, I'm saying the rhythms, I'm playing it at the same time. It's worth trying to do all these things. It's going to make you more, get that grid in your head. If you can't say the subdivisions while you're playing it, that's okay. But you want to be aware of where they are when you have that metronome on. You want to just take a moment, 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a da 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 da, and then try to play it. Because like I said, if it's not exact, then it's not it. It's got to be right on those subdivisions. All right, the last one. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, the last one does a classic funk thing, which is just literally play one note, but in a short staccato way. So we take this, again, we're on a D. We're in the key of D. This is like a D7 sharp 9. So instead of just a D9, D7 sharp 9, very funky chord. And we're playing the 5th fret of the G string. But after we play it, we just lift the pressure off our index finger. One, 2, 3, 4. Bum 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 ba da bum. Ba ba da bum. Bum 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 ba dum bum. Bum ba dum bum. Right? You want to be able to sing it before you try to play it. Do you have the rhythm in your head? 1, 2, 3, 4. Da 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 bo. Ba 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 da ba. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 E and a 1 and 2 and 3 E and a 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a. Cool. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So we got 5 to 7 on the G string. 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 7, then 6 on the B string, then 5, 5, 7 on the G again, to 4 on the D string. That's step 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, we want to add double stops. This double stop and this one. So altogether we have this straight line, and that's from this chord D7 sharp 9. So we've got, so when we go, we're going to do that double stop, and then the second time come to that one. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Cool. Now you might want to try it at a slower tempo. 1, 2, 3, 4. Awesome, everybody. I hope that gave you an idea on how to nail funk lines. If I had to describe it just like in a few sentences, 1, internalize the rhythm by being able to sing it first with a beat, maybe clap while you sing it. Worry more about the rhythm than the notes. The notes, you'll get the notes, you'll figure out the notes, but the hard part is the rhythm, getting that groove, right? Okay, to help you nail the groove, you want to be able to internalize the subdivisions. So when you put that metronome on, you want to hear in your head, you want to hear that rhythm grid. That was 16th notes, 4 per beat. 8th notes, do 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 do. Swinging 16ths, do 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 do. Swinging 8ths, do 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 do. right? Blues triplets as well. Da, 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 da. And funk triplets aren't quite as popular. And yeah, play it slow, play it fast, play it with a metronome. See if you could tap your foot while you're playing it, just to make sure you're staying within that groove. So I hope you had fun during this lesson, and I hope you have fun trying to play these riffs. Feel free to change them up, make them a little different, make them your own. If you want to learn more about playing guitar, head over to guitartricks.com. There's a library of high-quality song lessons with downloadable tabs, backing tracks, multiple videos per song. There's sequential courses on guitar fundamentals, blues, rock, country. There's this cool toolbox thing that I use all the time with my students that has a scale finder and a chord finder. You saw a little bit of it here when I showed you one of those chords. That was a screenshot from the website. Happy playing, and I'll see you in the next lesson.